Yeah, I think this is a game where you have two teams that are really, really excited about being here. Obviously, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl speaks for itself and how it's viewed amongst the hierarchy of bowl games across the country, and this is right at the top. So we couldn't be more excited about being here. But then when you talk about the two teams that are really excited to be here, both that had really good seasons, we've got a chance to win. If we were fortunate enough to win, it would be our 10th win, which has only happened 4 times, or would be the 5th time in the history of the South Carolina football program. I believe I read that this would be a school record for Illinois for wins in a season if they were able to do this. So it's two teams that are really excited about being here, and should be a great. I know it's going to be a great opportunity. It'll be a great trip.
What kind of a week has it been for you, Coach, with the portal opening on Monday, and you're here today, hopefully relaxing a little bit?
Yeah, well, that never goes away, unfortunately, but it's been good. It's been a busy week. I was in Charlotte last Monday. One of our defensive players, Kyle Kennard, won the Nagurski Award for the Defensive Player of the Year in college football. I was in Houston on Wednesday night. He was a finalist for the Lombardi Award. Not to mention the portal is open, so you're managing that. You've got players coming in on visits. We have graduation back in Columbia tomorrow morning. We've got portal visitors coming in tomorrow. So there's a lot happening without a doubt, but it's a good kind of busy because of the season that we had. Winning 9 games, there's a lot of excitement about South Carolina football, and I'd say the one thing that's probably helped every coach is the fact that the NCAA moved signing day up earlier this year. You know, in years past, signing day would be next week, and I'd be leaving here to go on a recruiting visit somewhere. Well, signing day's already happened for the high school guys, so it's one less thing on your plate, if you will. And then we as coaches, we can't be on the road recruiting in the month of December this year for the first time probably ever. So it's better in that you're at home and there's so much chaos going on around you, but at least you're in your facility and you're with your players while the chaos is happening around you.
When will you begin preparing in earnest for this game, and how much preparation can you really do for a bowl game?
I think a lot. Obviously, you have a lot of time on your hands, and you're able to go back and see what Illinois has done all season. I think you've got to be careful about spending too much time on an opponent where you wear yourself out mentally. But for us, we practiced a little bit the week after the Clemson game. We gave our guys a break last week, at least from practice during exams. And then we'll start back up with practice on Tuesday, and we'll practice Tuesday through Sunday. Spend about 3 or 4 of those days really on Illinois. Take a few days for Christmas and then reconvene down here right after Christmas as well. So it's a good balance. Like every coach, when you go to a bowl game, you have an opportunity. It's an extra spring practice in a lot of ways to develop your own team, and we've got a lot of young guys that need to work. But then it's obviously a great opportunity for us to go compete again. And there's a lot of motivation in this game because of what's riding on it.
Coach, you talked about moving signing day up a week. Does college football need to do even more with its calendar, though? You mentioned the portals opening,
yeah,
the bowl games and playoffs going on. You had one team, Marshall, that had to bow out of its bowl game because 40 players entered the portal. What can be done?
I think there's a lot that still can be done. I'm on a SEC head coach's group text, and there's a lot of ideas flying around on that group text daily about how we can make it better, primarily from a calendar portal standpoint. I don't like to see bowls affected. I'm a bowl guy, and don't ever want to see anything happen to the bowls. And it's disappointing to see what happened with that situation with Marshall and whatnot. And I get it. There's complications with the calendar, and guys are making decisions and whatnot. But there's got to be a better answer. I know we've made some strides this year in regards to the calendar, particularly with the portal as well, in that the portal's not as open as long. It closes, I think, while we're down here, it officially closes, but then it opens up again for everybody in the country after their game as well. I know guys that are in the portal, they're trying to make decisions so they can get somewhere in January, but there's got to be a better way of going about it where it doesn't affect the bowl games, it doesn't affect the current team, but it also does what's best for the individual student athletes as well.
How much does NIL, the House settlement stuff's coming up probably in the next 6 months or so. How much does NIL and that impact? How much does that change how much what you have to do as a head coach? How much pressure does that put on you more, I guess, than it was maybe in the last 4 or 5 years?
I wouldn't say it changes it a lot, other than the fact that everybody thinks there's like this endless pot of resources now because of revenue sharing, and it's not quite that simple as well. So it certainly changed things. And I laugh. I was hired as the head coach here in December of 2020, and that's coming off of COVID. That was obviously the COVID year. And I remember waking up the next morning after it was announced that I was going to be the head coach, and I had a text message or a voicemail from a fellow head coach in the SEC, and he said, "Congratulations, you just became a head coach, but you became a head coach in the worst possible year to ever be a head coach, just because of COVID and the impact that it had on the game." But he said, "Good news, though, that's behind us, and it should be smooth sailing from here on out." Little did we know what was coming with portal and NIL and all that. So now there's so much more to the job than just coaching. It always was, but now it's even more so because your responsibilities have changed in a lot of ways. You've always been a fundraiser, but now you're also making decisions, money decisions and resources and how to allocate it on your own team and whatnot. So it's a lot. It's changed. Obviously, my dad was a legendary coach. I can't call him and ask him how he handled, his starting quarterback wanted this, or his backup right guard was asking for this, or he was going in the portal and things like that you hear about in college football. But
how much would Mike Vick have been?
A lot. Mike Vick would have been worth a lot. We got a lot of guys in South Carolina that would have been worth a lot in that time as well for what they did, and they're looking around saying, "Man, I missed it by about 20 years or however many." But it's changing, but we're all navigating it as head coaches and all trying to figure out the best way going forward to, make it right for our programs, but for the game that we all love too.
Playing a bowl game in Orlando, how confident are you that Gamecock fans are going to travel down for it?
Very. This is one that I know our fans are excited about, to be able to come to a great city like Orlando, to everything that it entails here at this game. They do such a first-class job. South Carolina fans have been wanting to get back to this game for a long time, and this is one that everybody in the SEC, if you're not in the playoff, this is where you want to come, and it's going to be a great trip for our fans. I know we sold out of our initial allotment within about an hour, I think, and we had to call back down here and get more tickets. And I've heard from a lot of people that are coming, and they can't wait to get down there. My son plays in a little church league basketball with his fellow. Basketball league with his fellow 11-year-olds, and he had a game yesterday, and I can't tell you how many people just came up to me at the gym and said, "We'll see you in Orlando, see you in Orlando, see you in Orlando." It seemed like everybody I saw. So there's a lot of excited Gamecocks to get down here.